from your perspective, John, how do you prepare for commercial negotiations with procurement, and how do you incorporate some of those bits you just talked about just now in terms of the value rather than just making it on price from them?
Well, the one word answer would be thoroughly. I don't think we as agencies typically spend nearly enough time in the preparation phase. I mean, at worst, it's you're sitting in reception about to be taken up in the lift and you're working out who's going to say what. I think we're perhaps a little better than that. But are we really investing the time up front? I mean, there are various stages to a negotiation, obviously, but I think planning is arguably the most important. And that ensures that you're aligned as a team. What that might be from what roles you go to play, but the approach you're going to take, where you're fixing your price, or at least your opening price, perhaps. But perhaps more importantly, and without repeating what I just said, the types of questions that we're going to ask to truly understand what the client's motivations are, so that we can custom, our response accordingly. And I think a great thing to think about when you're preparing, just a couple of very obvious things perhaps, but think about options. You just mentioned price and procurement there, Tracy, but if you just put one price on the table, you shouldn't be surprised if that becomes the only variable. And before you know it, you get into this haggle or discounting, which of course isn't negotiating. So definitely think about options. I think another thing to consider is what's the minimum you're prepared to accept, often referred to as a walkaway point. That's something you should take into every negotiation. Obviously, you would always hope to do better than that. But if you put the right thought into your walkaway point, then you should certainly never go below that. And as part of that, you then start to think about, okay, what are our alternatives if we can't reach an agreement? What is the alternative? And equally, what are the client's alternatives? Because we often think we are in the weakest position going into negotiation. Sometimes that may be the case, but very often clients don't have too many alternatives. They're very keen to work with us.
How do you know that? Because of
I think that's through the questions. That's through the questions you ask. We know. I mean, there are some fantastic procurement clients we work with, absolutely wanting to partner with you, but they have a job to do, and I think we can't. Sometimes I think we can be guilty of blaming procurement for, frankly, our own decision making. We can't blame procurement for asking for more and more if we continue to say yes and yes and yes. So we need to be a lot braver and a lot more confident in our position, in the value we bring to the table, and have the mindset and the, if you like, frankly, the experience, boldness, whatever you want to say, to push back and to say no, because they will keep asking until we get to that point.